In the vibrant kingdom of Ife, there was a powerful and wealthy king named Pette. His kingdom was renowned for its prosperity, vast lands, and the beauty of its people. King Pette's palace stood tall, a symbol of his might and influence. His throne, made of the finest gold and encrusted with precious jewels, was a testament to his unparalleled wealth. Despite his many accomplishments, King Pette was known for his arrogance. He believed that no one could advise him and that he alone knew what was best for his kingdom. His court was filled with wise advisors and loyal servants, but King Pette rarely listened to their counsel. One day, as King Pette prepared to attend a grand meeting of kings from neighboring lands, he unknowingly wore two different pairs of slippers. His loyal servant, Samuel, noticed the mistake and approached the king with caution. Samuel was known for his loyalty and honesty, and he had served King Pette faithfully for many years. "Your Majesty," Samuel began respectfully, bowing low. "I must inform you that you are wearing two different slippers. It might be wise to change them before the meeting." King Pette's face turned red with anger. "How dare you tell me what to do?" he bellowed, his voice echoing through the grand hall. "I am the king, and I know what I am doing. For your insolence, you shall be thrown into the dungeons." Despite Samuel's pleas for mercy, King Pette's mind was made up. Guards dragged Samuel away, and the king addressed his court. "Let this be a lesson to all," he declared. "No one shall correct me or tell me what to do." The courtiers and servants looked on in fear, knowing that any attempt to advise the king could result in severe punishment. King Pette, feeling triumphant, left for the meeting, oblivious to his mismatched slippers. Days passed, and the time came for another important meeting with the kings. That morning, King Pette decided to visit his farm, where he enjoyed inspecting the progress of his crops and livestock. In his haste, he accidentally stepped into a pile of manure, staining his royal robes with the foul-smelling substance. Oblivious to the stain, he returned to the palace and prepared to leave for the meeting. His servants, remembering the fate of Tond, were too afraid to inform him of the stain. They watched in silence as King Pette mounted his horse and rode off, the smell trailing behind him. As King Pette entered the grand hall where the meeting was to be held, the other kings immediately noticed the stain and the foul odor. Whispers spread through the hall, and soon, laughter erupted. King Pette, once respected and feared, was now the subject of ridicule. One of the kings, King Olu of the neighboring kingdom of Oyo, stood up and addressed King Pette. "Brother Pette, what has happened to your once pristine robes?" he asked, barely able to contain his laughter. King Pette looked down and finally noticed the stain. His face turned crimson with embarrassment. The once proud and arrogant king was now a figure of mockery. Embarrassed and humiliated, King Pette returned to Ife in silence. His mind was filled with thoughts of his arrogance and the consequences it had brought upon him. He called his servants and asked them, "Did any of you see the stain on my robe?" They all nodded, fear evident in their eyes. "Yes, Your Majesty, we saw it," one servant confessed, "but we were afraid to tell you." King Pette's heart sank. He realized the gravity of his arrogance and how it had led to his humiliation. With a heavy heart, he ordered Samuel to be freed from the dungeons and gathered his court. When Samuel was brought before him, King Pette addressed him with sincerity. "Samuel, I have wronged you. I let my arrogance blind me, and I punished you unjustly. For that, I am deeply sorry. Samuel, though weak from his time in the dungeons, managed a smile. Your Majesty, it is an honor to serve a king who can recognize his mistakes and seek to correct them. King Pette then turned to his court and spoke with solemnity. I have learned a valuable lesson. A king must be wise enough to listen to the counsel of others. I have been foolish and arrogant, and for that I apologize. From this day forward, I will be a better king, one who listens and learns. The people of Ife cheered, their voices ringing out in the palace. King Pette kept his promise. He became a humble and wise ruler, respected not just for his power but also for his humility and willingness to learn. He established a council of advisors who were encouraged to speak freely and honestly. The kingdom of Ife flourished even more under his just and fair rule. Dear listeners, we hope you enjoyed this tale of King Pette and the lesson of humility. We would love to hear your thoughts. What lessons did you learn from this story? Please write down your answers in the comment section and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more captivating stories.